Looking back at it, Paul probably thought that I needed to have a mouthpiece because I didn't talk back then, and he wouldn't be wrong if that was the reason, which I think that's probably the whole reason that Fonzie was there. I mean, I had some moves, but I didn't want to go anywhere near a promo camera. I was scared to death of it. They used to do promos at like 2 or 3 in the morning till like 5 in the morning. So after the shows, everyone's waiting around to get paid, and that takes till at least 1. It's like the money for Paul that Paul has to pay the talent is somehow gaining interest by the second in his pocket, and he just waits and waits and waits, and eventually the boys start dying off. You know, they say, I can't wait any longer, fuck it, and they leave, and he wants that. Then now he only has to pay half the boys. This is what he would do every single week, and when times were bad, he didn't mind, you know, lying straight to you. I was a victim sometimes where I'd be like, Paul, what do you mean you ran out of checks? Write me a fucking check. He'd be like, I don't have any more. They use them all. I go, come on. You go, what difference does it make if I give you a check right now or it's waiting for you when you get home? I'll drop it in FedEx tomorrow. I'll overnight it. I'm like, oh, come on, Paul. You know you're not going to do it. And then the you know, next week, I mean, what? I didn't get the check. He'd be like, well, it was a holiday. They weren't, you know, he didn't mind doing that, but I always, you know, he'd give me 2 checks next time or whatever. But then, you know, you wanted to be one of the first people to get paid because he'd run out of checks every time. For some reason, he did not know how many people he had to pay, and he would only bring 10 checks every time.
Why can everyone talk about these stories?
It's hilarious.
But frame him as the lovable shyster.
That's true.
As opposed to guys that got hung out of windows for doing that shit. What about Paul made him kind of that, you know, the teddy bear that was always doing that?
Well, first off, everybody in this business is a character. So you start taking people for what they are. You know, you're not going to change this person. You're not going to change them. You know, like them or hate them, this dude's a character, that dude's a character. Some of them are definitely characters that your mom would not want you to associate yourself with. But because it's the wrestling business, there you are with this dude that's covered in tattoos with a big mohawk, and maybe he spent time in prison, maybe he didn't, whatever. It's all about finding that common ground. And with someone like Paul, that's what you have to do, is find a common ground so you can relate when you're talking about the vision of your place in the company, where ECW is going to go. But you always knew you were going to be getting screwed, and you always knew he was going to lie to you when he was talking to you, and you just accepted that. Yeah. So, but back to the promos. After all the pay, and he's paid everybody, he's ran out of checks, everyone's bitched, they've all left, and the people who haven't left are still there, you know, falling asleep. That's when they would do promos. And I would, every time he would say, just stop by the promo room, just see what we do. I'm not going to put you on camera. So eventually I finally stopped by and watched one time, and then he would be like, hey Rob, why don't we just try one? Oh, I'd be out the door. You know, I slowly got into that, and Fonzie was definitely a mouthpiece for me before I learned how to just take over. I got this, Fonzie. Step aside. The people want to hear from me, Rob Van Dam. So quit spitting on the camera and spitting on me. Go get Sabu something. All right. So I'm coming to Buffalo, New York. Me. You know, it was. After a while, I just like soaked it up. But at first, I was, you know, I did not want anything to do with the promo. It was like, you know. It was the part of the business that if it was up to me, I would have stayed away from. And I just want to be in the ring. And throughout my whole career, even right now, the storylines and stuff are stuff that I really am like, I just want to get in the ring and show off. Fonzie became one of my better friends in the business. I still call him and check in on him, make sure he's doing good. And outside of the locker room, he was a manager as well. Like, he took that role to heart, and he would, Van Dam, I made sure we got you the best suite in the hotel. I made sure we got you fresh towels, and we got some coffee over here. And he would like run around, and he totally like took it to heart. Like, that was in and out of the ring character for him, for me and Sabu. He looked out for it. He's a great guy.